In the words of Aquino, the Filipino is to die for. The Filipino people have always been one for independence, even from the beginning. From the moment that foreigners first landed on Filipino soil in 1521, they've always wrestled for control. The Philippines was simply not content with being just another Spanish colony. 4,000 Filipinos rose against the Spanish even though they were under-equipped. Though their revolution failed, the virtues of the Katipunan revolt would bleed through into the following revolution led by Aguinaldo. Katipunan was this epitome of determination, a symbol of freedom. This message to never stop fighting has carried over generations, even up until the Philippines' most recent revolution, Epifanos de los Santos Avenue.
My name is Dominic, and I participated during the People Power Revolution in the Philippines around 1986.
How old were you back then?
I was just 15 years old.
Wow. Oh, wow. How did your revolution start?
So, the Philippines was ruled by a dictator called Ferdinand Marcos. He was in power for 20 years. And he was known for his corruption, rampant corruption. So people started living in poverty because they wanted to gain all the wealth and made all the people suffer. There was a revolution that's already brewing in the province, or in the state where I came from. Is one of the poorest. They had a very good cause that they were fighting for. They were fighting for freedom. They were fighting to be out of poverty. And to be killed for doing that is just wrong. So instead of me being discouraged to join them, I was in fact angered. And in fact, I thought that they were heroes for doing what's right. All people who opposed him, he would kill. The People Power Revolution started when he killed one of the senators who opposed him. First, this senator his name was Benigno Aquino. He was jailed when he opposed the tyrant Marcos. And then after that, he was able to leave and apply for asylum in the United States. But he was unhappy living here because he knew that back in the Philippines, back in his country, there are a lot of people who are suffering, are being killed, and he's not being part of that cause. So he decided to come back.
For a man who has been in power for 16 years, with the entire military and government resources and personnel at his command, Mr. Marcos should show self-confidence, even nobility, by giving the opposition a sporting chance.
And was a threat to Marcos. But he insisted on coming back.
I am willing to return to Manila to serve as presidential campaign manager if Mr. Marcos will allow me freedom of movement during the campaign period.
The minute that plane arrived in the Philippines, the minute he stepped down that stairs from his plane, he was assassinated.
I will not stand by and allow an insurgent leadership to spurn our offer of peace and kill our young soldiers and threaten our new freedom.
And that actually sparked all the anger, and people became more angry and were going on the streets demanding for freedom.
Looming over and advancing towards a stubborn sea of humanity.
His elections were rigged. So nobody wanted to go against him in the election, but the widow of the senator rose up. She was just a housewife. People rallied. We were all there. We were all supporting her. We attended a lot of her rallies. So it was just peaceful. They would get a fire truck and fill those fire truck with water from the sewers, and they would spray us with that water cannon while we were protesting. So what happened was the military started to defect. They started to support the wife of the assassinated senator. They said that now the military leaders will support the administration or the government of Aquino. The tanks started marching to arrest and kill these two military leaders. Their name was Ramos and Enrile. And before those tanks could come to get them, the people rallied.
but remained unheeded long past the deadline. Torn between loyalty to authority and loyalty to the people, General Todiar and his men chose the latter, upholding the true meaning of love and service for the country.
Must be the way of peace to God and to the country.
If I go home and pass by the town hall, I would still have a very vivid recollection of the faces and those mangled bodies. And we should never forget all their sacrifices. But after 20 years of that, after killing all the people who are protesting against them, Philippines was finally free.
And I deem it a high honor and personal privilege to present to you Her Excellency Corazon C. Aquino, President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Over the next 2 days, a steady stream of military and political defections from the dictatorship occurred. Cory Aquino is inaugurated as the 11th president of a free Philippines. By the 5th day,
Well, Katipunan or KKK, that's called KKK in the Philippines, which is
The good KKK.
Yes, kataas-taasan, kagalang-galangan, katipunan ng anak ng bayan. During that time, the Philippines was under Spanish rule, and they were being treated as second citizens, as slaves in their own country. Eventually, after 300 years of ruling the Filipinos started to rebel. And one of the main figure that started the Katipunan was our national hero, Jose Rizal, publishing these novels which reflected the abuses and the tyranny of Spanish rule. But because he published this novel, what they did was assassinate him too. He was going to be shot backwards, as they wanted him for being a traitor to Spain. Our national hero turned his face in front of those guns to face them, to tell them that I am not afraid of you. There's the parallelism between the Katipunan and the People Power Revolution is to never be complacent with protecting their rights and fighting for their freedom. There's a saying that people who do not look back at history are bound to repeat it. Sadly, there's an emergence of new political dynasties that seem to be becoming almost the same. In fact, the son of Marcos came back to power. When he got re-elected, and I was already living here in America, I actually cried. I was I went to college and became a student leader, I still advocated for change in the government, for corruption to go away. So I was one of the leaders of those protests, and all of my friends, when they found out that I was going to America, was all like shocked. It comes to a point when idealism needs to go behind the scene, and you have to think of your own family. The fight in me, despite me coming here, did not go away. 100 years ago, with the Katipunan, before the People Power Revolution, when they regained their freedom, they became complacent. And then there was a tyrant and dictator that came. And so there was a revolution against that dictator. And then when the freedom was regained, after a while, the son of the dictator came back to power. So what that tells you is that you can never be complacent with fighting for freedom. If there's anything that I want Filipinos, that I would want Filipinos, is to have better education and understanding of their history. Because if we do not have the capacity to look into our past, into our history, into our passion to fight for freedom, then we will be forever be easy to manipulate and not love the freedom that we're enjoying now.